Selection Sunday is over. The bubble has popped for many, and 68 others are ready to dance. Welcome to the madness and the SuperBook Sports Podcast. I'm Ron Kruck, joined as always by the men behind the counter, SuperBook in Vegas, longtime odds makers Jake Kornegay and John Murray, gearing up for March Madness here at the Westgate in Vegas. Guys, welcome in. I'm guessing not your typical week here at the Westgate.
Not at all. I mean, one of the biggest weekends of the year is coming up, and a lot of the prep work that we've been doing over the last week and a half or so is always challenging, but we're ready for it. It's one of my favorite events of the year.
Nice. John?
This is the best event of the year. I think it's a lot more fun than the Super Bowl. I think it's Thursday and Friday are crazy, but we generally do pretty well. I know Jay's going to get mad at me because I shouldn't jinx anything.
Maybe I should be between you two.
But,
Thanks.
March Madness, a lot of parlays coming across the counter. Super Bowl is all straight bets. They either straight bet the game, they straight bet the props. March Madness, you get a lot of parlays. Generally better for business, Jay. Generally.
I was here for the Super Bowl, guys. I mean, oh, geez, I should have sat in between them. This is too early.
It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah.
Great weekend.
I mean, the atmosphere here at the Westgate, though, for the Super Bowl was electric. So many people, so many wagers going on. It was just a big party. What's the atmosphere like for March Madness?
I described it as a frat party, and it's a little different demographic than the Super Bowl, Ron. We get, Super Bowl, we get an older, more mature crowd, a lot more couples, a lot more females. But March Madness is just a plain frat party where 99% of these guests that will be in here this weekend will be guys having a good time, light beer, double bacon cheeseburgers, you name it. It's a time for them to cut loose, because a lot of the guests, they're just having a blast, but a lot of them are being reunited, from school buddies,
Sure.
ex-co-workers, from all different parts of the country. They all meet up here and they cut loose.
I love it. That's what we're going to do. I need my buddy Rondé Barber back here, but that's a long story. We'll save that for another time. Before we look ahead to the tournament, let's take a look back. How did the book do during the conference tournaments, and overall, is the handle up this year?
Sunday was great. We did great on Sunday. We won a lot on Purdue losing to Iowa, I think was the big one. Mm-hmm. And then I can't remember what the early game was. Davidson, maybe. Davidson lost to Richmond, and we did great on that game. Sunday was one of the best days we've had outside of football in months. It was really a great day for us.
Someone threw a stat at me the other day that 17 of the 32 number one seeds in the conference tournaments lost.
Wow.
Yeah. So the madness has already started.
That is crazy.
Yeah. 17 of 32. Yeah. So, and I think we're going to see that continue in the big tournament with a lot of different upsets.
All right. With that segue, let's talk about the one seeds by region, and then we'll go over the current odds to win the national championship. So the shortest odds is going to the Zags in the West at plus 275. The South, Arizona comes in only one of three Pac-12 teams to make it go to the big dance, and they come in at plus 600. The Midwest, we've got Kansas. They, after winning the Big 12 tournament, they are plus 800. And then we just checked the odds outside in the SuperBook. This is crazy to me. The defending national champion, Baylor Bears, we had them at plus 1,400. They're now up to plus 1,800 to repeat. Guys, which number one seed do you think? Let's start with the easiest path to get to the Final Four.
Well, I think Kansas for sure. I think Kansas had a great draw, and I think they earned it. They won the Big 12 regular season. They won the Big 12 conference tournament. I thought the Big 12 was the best conference in the country all year. They won both, and they got a very, very favorable draw. I think they've got the weakest 2, 3, and 4 seed in their region, and I see them already. They're a very trendy pick. Seems like everybody that I see put a bracket on social media has Kansas going to the Final Four, and I can't blame them. They're playing well. They played very well over the weekend, although they didn't have to play Baylor. I think Oklahoma did them a big favor by beating Baylor in the quarterfinals, but they didn't have to play Baylor. They had a great win against a very good Texas Tech team, and they've got a very easy draw, where conversely I would say Arizona has a pretty tricky draw. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people are going to be picking Arizona to get upset, and I already see everyone picking Kansas to go to the Final Four.
Jay, your take.
I'm going to disagree with John.
Yes, here we go.
So I think, well, I understand that Duke is in the same draw as Gonzaga, and that's obviously the big hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at that, what is that, Midwest with Kansas, and I look at Iowa, Providence, Wisconsin.
Right.
You look at Auburn, even though I know they have inconsistent guard play. But for some reason, I think 3 of the 4 number 1 seeds will probably get knocked off before the Final Four.
What?
I only have Gonzaga going there, somehow getting by Duke, but I think the Zags are the only number 1 seed to reach the Final Four. I think we're going to see a number of upsets. These number 1 seeds, I'm not saying they're going to get knocked off in the first or second round. Yeah. I'm talking about the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. They're going
Still
down.
Getting that. Wow, I'm just going to blow this up right now. Okay, I'm going to save that for later. Biggest liabilities at SuperBook in terms of the national championship bets?
South Dakota State.
Oh, those pesky jackrabbits.
Yeah, I looked at that today. I just looked at it right before he came on the show. I was like, what's this big number? And I was like, oh, it's the Jackrabbits. We lose like $2 million if they win it all. So
wow.
I'm kind of shaking.
I didn't think we were allowed to give figures out, Jay. Oh, you're the boss.
Yeah, okay. You remember that. No, there's we actually, some of the contenders we have a little bit of liability on. You know, the Zags we have, unfortunately, have a little bit of liability on them. We have Duke, Arizona. We're not looking too great on them. But again, small amount of liability. And I'm not too concerned because I think it's really wide open. Some of these others, 4th, 5th, 3rd seeded teams, I think, not all of them, but most of them have a shot. So I think it's wide open. Even though we have some liability on some of the top contenders, it's not concerning me.
Okay. If you're not concerned, I'm not concerned. All right, let's put the spotlight on maybe some Cinderellas now, sleeper teams that could bust some brackets up, and some double-digit dogs that it seems like some money is coming in on, guys, because the line is moving. We were just out there. I've got a list of them. The biggest line movement that we saw, and it's been going back and forth, has San Francisco opened up the number 10 seed as a -1 favorite against number 7 Murray State. Murray State was a -1.5 now, so it totally swung. And now we were just in the SuperBook behind us. Murray State is now -1, so a lot of movement there. Arkansas the number 4 team is a -5. They opened up at -6. You mentioned Davidson, number 10 against Michigan State. Michigan State was -2. It's down to -1. And I'll throw it in because you mentioned it, Jay. South Dakota State, the number 13 seed, Providence, number 4. Providence opened up at -2.5. A 13 against a 4. That's crazy to me. Now Providence -2. Let's start with you, Jay. Your thoughts on maybe some of these line movements and what we're seeing.
Well, that first matchup that you brought up, Murray State and San Francisco, I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup. Both those teams have really good guards, and if you haven't seen these two teams play, I would recommend that you watch these two teams because they really do have a chance not only to advance here. They're going to play Kentucky the second round. Whoever wins this game,
right.
That's obviously a huge hurdle, but these two teams are very underrated. I think I know Murray State has got some pub out there, but San Francisco, a lot of people, a lot of the nation haven't seen the Dons play because they play so late, but they're very talented, very good. I don't know if that line movement is correct. I kind of like San Francisco in this matchup, mainly because I've seen them play a couple of times, and I know Murray State's very talented, so it's a very, really much of a toss-up. But the other one I was looking at, you mentioned Arkansas, Vermont. I mean, they're playing in their backyard. Arkansas played a similar game last year in the first round against Colgate, I believe, and it went right down to the wire. Arkansas got by. So I really don't blame, I know it's some of the sharp guys, but the sharp guys taking Vermont in the points certainly makes sense to me after what we saw last year.
Okay. John, how about you? Any of those games or other games I didn't mention catch your eye in terms of line movement?
I think it's interesting. Just everybody's on South Dakota State. You talk about a 13 seed only getting 2.5 points, and everyone's on that side.
Yeah.
The two trendy dogs, everyone's betting. South Dakota State, Virginia Tech. Everyone is on Virginia Tech. It's not a surprise. They just blew through the ACC tournament.
Right.
They actually handled Carolina and Duke easily over the weekend. It's pretty impressive. Texas lost in the quarterfinals. They were up 40-22 against TCU at halftime. Decided to stop playing in the second half. They bowed out of the Big 12 tournament, and now everyone's on Virginia Tech. Everyone's on South Dakota State. That makes me a little nervous. I wouldn't look at the line movement too much in that San Francisco game. Going from +1 to -1 is really not that big of a line move. Going through 0 like that, it's really not that significant. So I wouldn't, not as much as you say a team going from +6 to +4, for example.
Right.
I don't have really an opinion on the Vermont-Arkansas game. That looked about right to me. But
Okay.
I do know that the public seems to like those two dogs, the Jackrabbits and the Hokies.
Here's the stat of the day. Those number 13 seeds, 31-113 in the round of 64 all time. So odds don't look great for South Dakota State, but who knows?
Well, Providence has been lucky all year. I think that's the narrative. And I remember when we put out the odds for the Big East tournament, they were the 1 seed, but they were the 3rd betting favorite. And people were talking about that as, well, that doesn't look right because Villanova and Connecticut have to go through each other, and Providence had the best record. So why are they the 3rd favorite? Well, it's because of the way they're power rated. And Creighton really blew them off the court in the semifinals.
That's right.
Providence, that's why I said earlier, I thought Kansas got a very favorable draw. I think Providence is clearly the weakest of the 4 seeds. And I don't know that I'll even see that. I don't even think they're going to get to play Kansas.
Yeah, well, they probably won't because they're going to get beat by Iowa. But they are playing in their backyard. I mean, I don't know. Is it Buffalo close to Rhode Island? I don't know.
Not really.
Not really?
Not really.
Yeah, so, okay.
I didn't know that either.
Well, it's
What are we, geography majors? I don't know.
It's up there.
Yeah, we don't know anything about geography.
Colorado guy. That's all right. I
Jeremiah
was
says
just
you-
in Buffalo. That's the only reason I know that. Jay.
Okay.
It's not. It's a quick flight.
I
There
know
you
it's
go.
closer to Buffalo than South Dakota State.
But
All right.
I think,
Good
Jay,
point. Good point.
to Jay's point, though, Iowa, I've been kind of crapping on Kansas's region, but Iowa is coming in playing great. And that they are a top 5 seed, and they would be favored against Providence if they both do survive the first game. Iowa, they're clicking right now. They've got great guard play. They're a very dangerous team, and they're going to be a trendy team after they won the Big Ten tournament. The public will look to back these teams that they just saw do so well in the conference tournament. That's why you see everybody betting Virginia Tech.
Absolutely. Well, let's keep that trend going and speak about the old 12 seed versus number 5. Historically, there's always a big upset. In our stat of the day, number 2 goes to our producer, Jeremiah Crow. How about this one? 12 seeds have won straight up in every tournament except 5. That's crazy. I mean, I knew there were a lot of upsets, but to me, only 5 times. So 12 seeds always pulling off the upset. Let's look at the 4 games that we have. Beginning in the West region, New Mexico State comes in at number 12. Both of you shaking your heads. Maybe we like New Mexico State against number 5, UConn. UConn is a they were -7 down to -6.5. South region, UAB taking on number 5, Houston. Houston is a -8.5 point favorite. Midwest, we go to the number 12 seed, Richmond, and the Iowa Hawkeyes. John, you were just talking about Iowa is a 10.5 point favorite. And then the play-in game, Wyoming Cowboys and Indiana, they will play the winner of St. Mary's. K-Mac going crazy over there in the East region. But let's look at these. I mean, the stats are incredible to me that the 12 always pulls off an upset. Is there one of those games that catches your eye?
I think it's the first one, New Mexico State. We've seen this team do it before. I know that UConn, a lot of people talk about their big wins against Nova and Auburn during the regular season, but New Mexico State has it all. They have big size underneath. They have great guard play, and they have an attitude. They play with an attitude. They have a big chip on their shoulder. I was a little surprised on that total, by the way. The total is really low, but I know UConn will probably try to slow it down. But that's if I were to pick an upset of 4 against 12, it'd be New Mexico State.
Okay. John, how about you?
I wasn't aware Wyoming qualified for this tournament. Is that we got that correct?
As of this recording, they haven't, but we are going to see how it plays out.
So they get
some people are crowning them champs already.
I didn't know that. I think I dozed off during the selection show. I think if Indiana wins against Wyoming, they will be very, very, very trendy in the next round. They will be a very trendy pick. Some sharp guys are on UAB. You mentioned their game against Houston. Saw really sharp guys take 8.5. And one of our really respected players, he made a bet on Houston to not make it to the Sweet 16. We've got these props where it's yes, no, will they make the Sweet 16? He took the no. So two respected players in two different markets betting against Houston. So maybe take a look at UAB in that game. But I know that the trendy one's going to be Indiana, unless this Wyoming team wins tonight. But that, I would say extremely unlikely, right?
I know. I think
he went there. There's some booing going on over here. I think I better keep this going. Yeah.
No. Please, we're doing a show here.
It's all Murray.
No.
Yeah, I think our shot guy, one of the guys that we really respect, did take UAB plus 9.
Was it 9?
Yeah, it was 9, and then some others took plus 8.5. Okay. So you're right. We got a couple of corners on UAB.
It was surprising because Houston, Final Four last year, they won the AAC. Right. They're very well regarded by pretty much everybody, and I think a lot of people thought they had a lower than deserved seed at number 5. Yeah. So I have been surprised to see all this money coming against them. I thought Illinois really got a tough draw to get a 4 seed and then have Houston as your 5 seed.
Yeah,
they didn't do Illinois any favors.
No. I actually had Birmingham as my upset special, the Blazers. They've been playing great. They ran through the Conference USA tournament, solid offense, 7-footer at center, so they could be a dangerous team that could make some noise. All right, let's keep the show going because I know Murray's got some Champions League viewing to do.
Yes, I do.
We got to keep this moving. Time now for everybody's favorite game, truth or trash, guys. I know you love it. Can't do with.
I've never even heard of that game. It's everyone's favorite game. Never heard of it.
The fans here,
never even heard
is just like pumped up.
Okay.
So you're a little behind the times there, Murray.
Obviously.
We'll get you going.
Yeah,
all right.
That's fine.
So basically, I'm going to throw out some statements, and you guys let me know, is it the truth or is it trash? And here's number 1. Wow, we just come out firing, man. Just getting you prepared. Okay. Mountain West hoops is boring/overrated. San Diego State, Colorado State, Wyoming, Boise, all in. Attacking Jay Kornegay's number 6 seeded CSU Rams in this one. Truth or trash?
Trash. That's an easy one. I don't even have to look at anybody else's paper.
Right.
It's trash. Okay. I'm concerned that they got 4 teams in. I get it, but they could go 4-0 this first round, or they can go 0-4. It's going to be tight. I don't really like some of the matchups. I think Memphis is great. I know they got blown out by Houston, but I think that's a really good matchup against Boise State. In Colorado State playing Michigan, I know a lot of people are harping on Michigan, but they have size, and that's one thing that gives the Rams problems underneath, and Rams really don't have that big a size underneath, and that's a poor matchup. So, but I'm going to say trash because they got 4 teams in, and the Pac-12 only got 3.
And I've seen easy. Now you're attacking
me.
I've seen CSU, actually. There's some people that have them winning Michigan, and then I even saw one taking down Tennessee next. So there's some hope. Do you just,
I was going to say some names there, but okay.
Murray, what do you think? Truth or trash?
Well, is this a segment where I have to go against Jay? Like, is it like first take, or can I actually give a real opinion?
Do you want some fireworks on
this
show?
I think it's a trash. I think it's a trash opinion. I don't agree with that.
Hold hands.
The Mountain West. This is the best Mountain West since like Jimmer Fredette and Kawhi Leonard were playing in the Mountain West. I thought the Mountain West had a good season. I thought Boise State got screwed. I don't know how they got an 8 seed. I don't know how they have to play Memphis in the first game. They won the regular season and the conference tournament, and they get to play Memphis. And if they win that, they play Gonzaga. I thought the committee didn't do the Mountain West any favors at all, and I think the Mountain West underappreciated. And I don't care if I look silly after they go 0-4 this week. It will mean nothing to me. But I think they deserved more than they got from the committee.
Well, I think they deserve better seeding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, not more teams. You're right. But better seeding, better matchups.
And that's tough because they're in these 8-9 matchups. They're the underdog in the 6-12 12 matchup? Is that where
you don't want to be in the 8-9
6-11.
matchup.
Yeah, 6-11.
You're better off being an 11
8,
seed
9.
than an 8 seed.
Yeah.
If you're an 8 seed, you got to play Gonzaga in the first game, right? Or the next game, Arizona. I'd rather be an 11 or a 12 than be an 8 or a 9.
True.
Okay.
If you're trying to really go far in the tournament, I think you're better off.
All right. Okay, next question, moving on. I love this question, by the way. Coaches with Final Four experience, like Tom Izzo, Coach K, Bill Self, etc., do they have influence on how you look at setting the tournament lines? Truth or trash?
Trash. I don't. I would have very different.
stereo.
If I came out and told you who I think are the good coaches and who are the overrated coaches, it would be super controversial. So I can't do that. You just mentioned a few coaches there that
So close.
I don't know how much I would factor them into the point spread.
Okay.
I'll tell you that much. One of them is about to retire.
Agree. Trash. Yeah. When we talk about making lines, it's very rare that we talk about the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll in generally speaking, we'll say, well, they're a good coach team, but it really doesn't, become a factor making these lines, and it's very rare that we bring it up. So it's definitely trash.
Okay. Great stuff, guys. We appreciate it.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was really easy. Who wrote those questions?
Yeah. Well, writers.
Maybe
one of
next
our
time we could-
Thousands of staff members came up with that. It's been unbelievable how many.
I was just curious.
Well, this has been great, guys, but it's that time of the show that everybody wants to hear from the guys behind the counter and get your insight on 3 topics. Double-digit dark horse, your picks for the Final Four, and, of course, who's going to win it all. Who is going to be the 2022 national champion? You guys are the stars of the show. You're kind of big deals. People know you. They're always coming over here.
Yes, that's true.
It's unbelievable. So who wants to go first?
John.
John. All right, there you go.
I don't think I know any of the team's seed numbers, Ron.
Okay,
When you say a double-digit seed, do you mean
a
like
double-digit,
a double-digit underdog or a double-digit seed?
Double-digit.
We could go either way. How about
Seed?
We'll go seed. Double-digit seed.
I don't know the seed.
Yeah, I don't know any of the team's seeds.
Damn, why did I pick that question?
Yeah.
That's on me.
No, it's okay.
That's on
Well,
me.
one thing, Rob, we never look at seeding. We don't.
You
we don't.
you
talk
mentioned
about,
that during the
I know.
tournament.
We don't
the
look at
conference
seeding. I mean,
tournaments.
it doesn't make. It has
So
no
when-
impact on us.
So when I brought up the
like
Providence in South Dakota State, the seeding doesn't matter.
I know a lot
Four-
of people talk about it, but when we make the lines or talk about picks or anything like that, we do not look at the seeding, as you can tell, because look at the rankings during the course of the year. We'll have, a 5th ranked team playing a 15th ranked team, and the 15th ranked team is the favorite. Mm-hmm. Right? That's why we don't look at rankings.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris, over there.
Makes sense.
But it's
Look
just
at,
something we look at strictly just power rankings. That's
Look
it.
at Providence. Look at that bracket. Providence is the 4 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They're a 2-point favorite against the 13 seed. You go right next door, Iowa, the 5 in the 5-12 game,
Right.
and they're a double-digit favorite. That should really illustrate how meaningless the seeds are. It's just not something that we're really looking at.
Okay.
I thought the team that had a chance to make a run, not a double-digit seed, I'm cheating, but I thought the team that had a chance to make a run was Memphis until I saw their draw, and I saw that they had to play Gonzaga in the second game if they do beat Boise State, which is a toss-up. But they were a team that I thought had a chance to make a run. If the brackets broke their way, they did not.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I don't know that I could really pinpoint a long shot right now. I'll let Jay do that.
All right. Well, we've got next week too, man. I mean, we got a lot to concentrate on. Why don't we move on to your Final Four picks?
Final 4 picks. You want to go ahead?
You want me to go?
Yeah, sure.
I'll say Kansas because I mentioned earlier I like their draw. I'll go with Arizona. Give me Kentucky out of the Baylor region, and then I'll go against Jay. I'll say Duke. Whoa. I have a feeling that some things are going to go their way. If you catch my drift, over the next couple of weeks, I have a hunch that although I don't know,
the Coach K,
I don't know.
the question with them is I didn't say that.
I did.
The question with them is do they have the talent to take advantage of it? I don't know yet. I mean, they looked pretty bad against North Carolina 2 Saturdays ago, and Virginia Tech handled them pretty easily.
Yeah,
but I do think the bracket breaks well for them until the Elite Eight. And I know that the networks are very happy with that game. I'm sure that'll be the late game Sunday if they play each other in a regional final.
Sure.
All right. So there, John, you're 4, Kansas, Arizona, Kentucky, and Duke.
Wanted some long shots in there to really mix it up.
I like it. Jay, what say you?
All right. Well, first of all, can I go back to that double digit? Because I did my homework now. You know, I was looking at Jacksonville State.
Why not?
I'm looking at Jacksonville State.
Whoever came up with that question was fantastic.
I just heard good things about Jacksonville State. Just about, they can make threes. They're big on, underneath. And, I already said that Auburn's guard play is, let's be kind and say it's inconsistent.
That's
all right,
my 15
final 4.
versus number 2, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah,
and they're getting 15. Well, they were getting 16. Now it's 15 and a half. All right. What did I say?
Final
3
4.
number 1s going down, right?
Yeah.
Kansas is going to be number 1. That's going down.
Okay,
All right.
so I
All right. All right. Don't write that down. All right. But coming out of the Midwest, I'm going to go with that hot team, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Whoa.
Okay. Coming out of the
Mathis
South,
is loving it
in
over
San
there.
Antonio, Tennessee will beat Arizona in the final there.
Tennessee.
Okay, so, and I'm going to go with the Zags, the only number 1 team to reach the Final 4. And I know that sentiment you're thinking about is Coach K.
He didn't say that, by the way.
I never said that.
I know you didn't say that.
Right.
Okay. But I had the same thinking when it was their last home game against North Carolina.
I don't even know what you're referring to. The same thinking about what?
Yeah.
Were you a lawyer? At some point?
Well, yeah, he's interrupting me. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, we would need one more, Jay.
All right, the last one. Let's go. I'm going to go with UCLA.
UCLA.
Wow.
I think they take out Baylor
Wow.
and
How
somehow
about that
get by
Pac-12?
Kentucky. There you go.
All
UCLA,
right, man.
UCLA is
So-
impressive, man. I was at the Pac-12 semis on Friday night.
Yeah.
They got a deep team, and I'm a big fan of Mick Cronin.
Well, look at what they did last year too.
I think
Play-in
they're-
game, and they go on the run.
They might be the toughest. We talk about who's got the toughest brackets. I think they are the best 4 seed, and they're lined like that. Look how big of a favorite they are. Again, it's not about the seeds. Look at the point spreads. UCLA is better than some teams that play on a higher line than them, higher seeded teams than them.
Good insight. I know you two have been waiting all week for my picks, so I'm going with Arizona, Kentucky, the Zags, and Auburn. Somebody told me about Auburn. I don't know who that was, that guy over there, Auburn. I think they're going to turn it around. So there are my final 4 picks. Write them down and yell at me next week or in 2 weeks. So how about we bring it on home, guys, with the national champion pick for the 2022 men's tournament. Drum roll, please. We're going to go. John started off, so Jay,
Yes,
you've got the honors.
All right.
you have to go first.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with the Zags.
Okay.
Okay, that's the number 1 team, or the only number 1 seeded team to get there. And then I'm going with Tennessee in the final.
Okay.
All right, I think Tennessee's the real deal. I think that the SEC was pretty solid this year. They kind of walked through it in the tournament. They're playing great. They're coached great. They're going to, unfortunately, because I'll be rooting for the Zags, but I think Tennessee overcomes the Zags in the championship game and goes home with the championship. So the Volunteers is my pick.
He's all over the place.
Wow.
Incredible.
Am I?
mean, you just teased the audience. You're going one way, and then suddenly Tennessee. All right.
All right, that's it.
I love it.
I'll
Murray.
say Arizona beats Kansas in a rematch of the great 97 game, the great upset in 1997. And I'll take Duke over Kentucky on the other side of the bracket. Arizona beats Duke in the national championship game. Coach K goes out a loser
Oh, wow.
to Arizona. Arizona's really deep.
Yeah, they are.
Got to keep an eye on injury to the guard, Kirk Kriisa. He got hurt in the quarterfinals against Stanford. He missed the semis and the title Pac-12 title game. Great shooter, but that team's got a lot of depth. They got a lot of size, and they're well coached as well. So I'll go with Arizona. My West Coast bias showing
Yes, it
a
is.
little bit. I've been
I
out here for a
appreciate
long
that.
time, but I do like that Arizona team. Not a deep conference, though, the Pac-12.
Yeah. They should have got more than 3 teams in, just saying.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, Wyoming's in, so yeah.
That's not a
Let's just let everybody in, I guess.
Oh, my gosh. All
Why
right.
don't we go to 128?
So this is interesting. We're going to have 3 different picks here. I think there's some unfinished business that has to be taken care of. And Gonzaga, after making it all the way last year and slipping up in that national championship to Baylor, I think they get it done this year. I think they are – that roster offensively and defensively is stacked. The way that they shoot, number 1 in the nation in scoring, 87 points per game, number 1 in field goal shooting. I just think this is the time. Apparently I didn't learn my lesson from last year because I picked them as well, but I think they get over the hump this year.
Okay.
Just one, guys.
I can't argue that.
No.
I haven't been in a championship game, so it could go either way. But I do expect a lot of upsets. And even with the top seeds, I think it's going to be a crapshoot all the way to the final game.
And Gonzaga will be favored in any game. Unless there's an injury
in
the next couple of weeks, no matter who they're playing, Gonzaga will be the favorite. So you can't go wrong taking the favorites.
Yeah. Great point. Okay. Hey, this is the time, though, to get to superbook.com. Sign up, download the app. Got some great promos going on. We've got a crystal ball promotion. Place a national champion future of $25 or more, a wager, and you get a $25 free bet. That's in Arizona, New Jersey, and Colorado only. And as always, if you are around here for any of the madness, you need to get here to the Superbook at the Westgate in Vegas. Or if you're in Colorado, head up to the hills and stop by the Lodge in Black Hawk for all the madness. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure also you are following us on social media, all social media platforms at SuperBook Sports. Guys, great job. Excited to start the madness. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, what we saw in the conference tournaments was just the wild shootouts and just it's so unpredictable. But I agree with John. A lot of people get caught up in these seedings. Take a look at the point spread. That's really going to tell you what's going on with these games and which are better teams. And when you look at Providence and South Dakota State, I mean that tells you a lot. A number 4 seed against what is that, a 13 seed?
Yeah.
And then you got right next door you got a 4 against a 12, and it's a double-digit favorite. So take a look at the point spread. I mean, this is what it's all about, here in the Superbook and in other parts of the country. It's all about these point spreads and don't get caught up too much, but have fun with it. As John said,
absolutely.
A lot of parlays are going to be flying around over the next couple of weeks.
Hope so.
Enjoy the tournament and get ready for a lot of upsets.
Yeah, very exciting time. John, any final thoughts?
I'm rooting for upsets, but sometimes that first weekend you get too many of them. And then you get to the regional weekend, you're like, these games suck. I don't want there to be too many upsets.
Yeah,
I mean, I do want to see – I want to see some of the best teams play one another.
Yeah.
But hopefully we get enough upsets to do well, and hopefully we get some really good games this week and next week.
Yeah, a good mixture is fine.
All right, sounds good. Well done today, gentlemen. We'll do it again next week. That's going to wrap up this edition of the SuperBook Sports Podcast. For my co-hosts, John Murray and Jay Kornegay, I'm Ron Kruck. Enjoy the games, everyone.